especially if you live in southeastern central Crawford County. Breaking down city by city, white cloud. You have some time. This is not confirmed, but it has that potential to be on the ground right now. We're going to have to wait to see if we get any damage reports, as well as check that correlation coefficient, which really picks up if we see any debris through that radar. So Jeffersonville, you have some time until about 9:41 p.m. The time right now is 8:49 Eastern time, and then it could potentially be over Jefferson County in about 30 to 45 minutes. This is a cell that could continue to develop right now. So we're going to continue to track this for you and let you know if it's strengthening, if it's weakening. Hopefully it continues to weaken as it moves off to the east. But as of right now, it is only including Harrison County, Crawford County in this tornado warning. If you live west of that, you're not in the path of it. This is moving off to the east, just north of it, in New Amsterdam. So if you live in New Amsterdam, you are not in the path of this potential tornado. So let's go ahead and look at the big picture, because really, this is going to be the scenario. It's going to be one or two thunderstorms that have that capability of producing a tornado. In fact, that is the only cell that we are watching right now. So quick check at our friends over in Indianapolis. They are dealing with a severe weather outbreak. I mean, we just missed out on seeing those storms that's moving through Greensburg as well as Franklin right now, just off to the north. But again, right now, this tornado warning is in place until 9:30 p.m. This is just north of Leavenworth, and then it's going to be moving off to Corydon right now. I do want to get the latest update of the scans clocking in to see if we're seeing any kind of update on strengthening, seeing that trends of weakening. And right now it is still holding itself together. Have not shown any signs of change really from the last few previous scans. So broad rotation right now. I'm staying updated with the National Weather Service if we have any other further update on this tornado warning that is in place for Crawford, Indiana, Harrison, Indiana, Meade County, Kentucky, and Perry, Indiana, Kentucky here until, let me see, 9:30 p.m. So we still have some time tracking this storm. So let's go ahead and put a track on this system, because it is heading towards some very populated areas. Also potentially directly in the path potentially of downtown Louisville. I mean, the distance, let's see, the distance from the downtown Louisville, it's about 30 miles off to the west. So if that storm continues to hold its strength, I'm going to walk you through that process, but we could potentially be seeing a tornado heading right towards Jefferson County. This also includes a very populated area. So if you're here, if you're listening and it's not in your area and you live east of this storm, I want you to pay attention, because it is heading towards a very populated area. Hopefully it shows signs of strengthening, but as of right now, it is not. It's starting to get that kink shape that indicates a supercell. So you can see if we have a potential tornado, it's almost like a hook echo. It is a little bit of a weaker indication of it. Leavenworth, you are just to the south of it. I think if we have a tornado, it's just along I-64 right now, moving through Crawford County, eventually Harrison County. Corydon, I want you to go ahead and find your safe place. You're not in this tornado warning just yet, but if it continues to hold its strength, continuing to show signs of rotation, you just want to be on that safer side, right? The more warning, the better. And when tornado warnings happen, it can happen in an instant. So don't want to freak you guys out. We're not seeing anything confirmed just yet, but I do have my eyes on that chat. If you happen to see any damage reports, if you happen to see any photos, definitely want to send that in here to us here. Doug?
For that, you can see the storm off to the west.
We can see the storm off to the west. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Max. Okay, we can see the storm. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and take a shot of Reed Yaden and John Humphreys. They are currently tracking this storm, and it looks like they are seeing the outside of the supercell. You can kind of see it's a little bit clear on the left side of that screen, and then you start to see that development on the right side. That is that potential area where they're seeing that in-draft of that supercell right now. So I'm actually going to, if we could put Max 1 on that Max HD radar there on that screen, that'll be very helpful just to zoom it on in a little bit closer. So we have a full team of meteorologists out there. We have storm chasers and our first alert storm team weather bees. I'm here in the studio watching it for you, but again, that was just a live view of that supercell that is moving just north of Leavenworth right now. Downtown camera, yes. Let's go ahead and switch it over. Yeah, that you can even see that development of that storm off to the west. It is heading our way. This is a potential tornado warning that could be over Jefferson County here very, very shortly. I mean, you start to see those puffy clouds, those towering cumulus clouds off to the west. So that tornado warned storm is off to the west of Louisville by just about 30 miles. So we're going to keep our eyes on all of the cameras out there, especially our traffic cameras. And of course, we have our meteorologists out and storm chaser out in the weather bees that's tracking this storm. All right, so let's go ahead, make sure I'm staying updated with you. If you're tuning in right now, a tornado warning is in place. The time is 8:55 p.m. For Crawford County. This also includes Harrison County and just north of Louisville. And you know what? If they're going to extend this warning, we might see this next warning include Jefferson County here shortly. So we're going to stay updated with you. So I do want to get back to see if we see any signs of weakening. And we really don't. We're still seeing that continuous broad rotation right there. So if we potentially have a tornado, we have the Galt House camera as well. Where is that? Looking west right now. Thank you. I'll pull that up in just a second, but I do want to show if we potentially have a tornado right now. It is over Carefree. If you live in this community, I want you to go ahead and seek shelter. It's broad rotation. We're not saying it's on the ground. This is a dangerous situation, and you want to take the precautions, as well as along a busy highway, I-64 through Carefree and Leavenworth, then it's going to cross over to Harrison County. There is that county divide right there between Crawford and Harrison County, moving right along I-64. You know what? That's not good that it's moving right along I-64, because it's following a major highway, and the time right now, well, it's 8:56, so hopefully people are already off on the road, but we also think about our truckers, our late night drivers, maybe Uber Eats out there on the road. So we're watching that for you. So it looks like it's traveling right along I-64, not losing in strength. In fact, it kind of still has that hook echo that we're watching. I do want to switch it over to our Galt House camera right now. Again, a towering cumulus cloud. This is a live view of that tornado warned storm moving towards Jefferson County right now. We're going to continue to keep our eyes on this because we do not want a storm heading our way, and we do not want a tornado on the ground, but it does look like it is developing a little bit. You see that in draft, and you could updraft with some clear skies along it. This is the perfect scenario. All right, so we have meteorologist Reed Yaden out on the road tracking the storm. Reed, tell me, what are you seeing out there? Do you have eyes on it?
Oh yeah, we have eyes on it right now. We're running along 64. We're going to move into the warned area, and the image that you've been seeing, it's getting a little dark now for the camera to pick it up, but the image you've been seeing is actually a cell that is now split into three parts, but the warned part is the part you've been dwelling on there, and that's the correct thing to do. The movement of the storm is very slow. It's not a fast mover at this particular point, and it looks like it is moving basically east-southeast is what we're seeing. We'll be getting into position here in the next 10 to 12 minutes. We'll be a little closer to it. We are on 64 heading eastbound. We're going to be up around westbound, I'm sorry, and we'll be up around Leavenworth, and we'll be right directly under the storm here momentarily. So we'll keep you updated, Colleen. In the meantime, back to you on this potentially very, very dangerous situation that we're tracking tonight.
Thank you so much, Reed and John. I hope you stay safe, because you can see on that screen, it is moving right along I-64. just off to the east of Leavenworth. So moving just over Leavenworth, heading towards Corydon, and then that next stop again is more populated areas. We're talking about Jefferson County, Floyd's Knob, Floyd County, Clark County, and it's moving off that north-northeast pattern right now along I-64. So we have a full team for you, keeping you safe. Recent trends on this system, I mean, it does look like it is falling apart a little bit, which would be good because it's kind of starting to blow itself out. And what I mean by that is, you know, when something's rotating in a circle, right, then it starts moving in a straight line. The winds are moving parallel to one another. So it's starting to lose strength, which is what we call weakening. So that is much better news right now because we see the wind directions kind of going in the same direction and not really a circle. So that is good news, showing signs of weakening. However, it is still a tornado warning. We need to take it seriously. I did just check the chat. There is a report of funnel cloud. Someone just reported over Carefree, which is what we're seeing right now, where that potential tornado is just over I-64. So tornado warning in place if you're tuning in just right now. It's over Crawford County. In fact, it's about to leave Crawford County and enter Harrison County. This is in effect until 9:30 p.m. So we still have some more time of this tornado warning, and then it's moving right along I-64, which is a busy highway. Let's go ahead and put a track on it because I know a lot of people are tuning in wondering where it's heading next. Is it going to hit Jefferson County? Is it going to move off to the east? I do want to do an updated track. Let me make sure that that didn't change direction at all here. Checking this, the information on this tornado warning right now. All right, so it's moving east, east-northeast at 30 miles per hour. I do think it took a little bit of a north track, which would be a better scenario for Louisville. So 35 miles per hour, not moving that fast. So, you know, it might miss Jefferson County or downtown Louisville by just a few miles here, but then we have to focus on our friends over in southern Indiana. I do want to put another track on this storm so we can include a few more populated areas. There we go. All right, so this is the latest track of this tornado warned storm. It does show signs of weakening, which is good news. They might just go ahead and let this tornado warning expire. So I don't see an immediate threat of a tornado on the ground because it is trending on that weaker side. Just about 5-10 minutes ago, it was possible. So we're going to have to wait to see if we got any damage reports, but as of now, this is radar indicated rotation. So timing it out, Louisville, it's trending a little bit farther north, so it might not even make its way towards Louisville. It might trend off to the north, then impacting Clark County, Floyd County, Georgetown. That time for Georgetown, 9:21, so 9:01. You have about 20 minutes before this nasty cell moves your way. I mean, we were showing you live images on it. We have meteorologists out on the road and in the studio tracking it for you. It was a towering cumulonimbus cloud, which could potentially drop a tornado at any point in time. So these storms go through recycle periods. Even though it's on that weakening trend right now, at any instant it could re-strengthen and then drop another tornado. So this is why we're under that tornado watch until 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, I do want to step off because I do like the current track that it is trending. It gives its wider perspective. Could clip Jefferson County just to the north, and then Floyd and Clark County heading almost directly right towards Georgetown right now. But it is showing signs of weakening, and if that stays true, then that means we're not going to see another tornado warning issued. They might just severe thunderstorm warn it. So let's go ahead and see what the latest scans have shown. You see that scan going through? That's when we get a new update. You know what? We might even be seeing some hail. Yep, that's exactly what we're seeing. Also hail potential just east of Carefree. It looks like this hail core could be about 1 mile, potentially 4 miles. So we could be seeing some quarter-size hail as well reported in this cell. I mean, it was a large thunderstorm. It's pretty tall, so I would not be surprised if it is producing some hail. And of course, I'm keeping my eyes on that chat to see if we have any other updates of that tornado warning that's in place. Okay, no current updates with it, so we're going to stick with it until it eventually expires. Actually, it just expired. Okay, we no longer have a tornado Oh, just kidding. Sorry. We do. It's about to expire. It's about to get out of that tornado warning polygon right now here over the next 5-10 minutes, so we'll have more information as we get closer to it. So as of now, this tornado warning, it's in place here until 9:15 p.m. So we still have about 12 minutes of this tornado warning, and then they're going to have to make that decision. Are we going to extend it, or are we going to keep with it? But as of now, it looks like Crawford County, you are almost in this clear of this tornado warning. I do want to zoom out to make sure that we're not seeing anything else fire up, because the bigger picture, I mean, Indianapolis, southern Indiana, they have numerous tornado warnings in place. For us, this is our singular tornado warning. A few other storms are starting to fire up, and that's what we're going to continue to watch over to the west, some more activity. We have the ingredients. This is why tornado watch is in place until 3 o'clock in the morning with that one tornado warning just heading towards Harrison County. And we're going to have to wait to see if it continues to weaken, because if it continues to weaken, then we can return you back to programming and we can continue to monitor it here in the studio. And if it happens to re-strengthen, of course, we'll update you. So one tornado warning is in place. This is for Harrison County now, just leaving Crawford County. So right now with that latest scan, let's go ahead and get back to it, see if we have any updates on the velocity. I mean, we're still seeing it's starting to strengthen again. You know, it was parallel, the rotation, and then now it's starting to kind of take that couplet shape again. So when we get cells like this, this is what happens. It weakens, it strengthens. Now it's Carefree, you're in the clear. Leavenworth, you're in the clear. I'm going to go ahead and start naming some areas in the clear. Beechwood, you're in the clear. Really over White Cloud right now, along I-64. In fact, if we could have a producer keep our eyes on Trimark cameras as it gets closer to Jefferson County as well, mainly along I-64. It would be great if we could keep our eyes on that just so we can see if any activity happens there on our major highways. So White Cloud right now, potentially some rotation is over you. In fact, you know, I do want to check just for precautions. Okay, so it doesn't look like we're picking up any debris on that radar right now. So possible rotation over Wyandotte heading towards White Cloud. Right now you need to seek shelter. The tornado watch is in place here until 3 o'clock in the morning. So this is one of potentially a few tornado warnings that we could see here overnight tonight. Overnight event. I mean, it's late, it's 9:06 p.m. Tornado watch means, hey, the ingredients are there to see a tornado potentially in our area. We don't have any confirmation on that current tornado warning that's on the ground. We did get sites on it, so we have a team out there potentially producing a funnel cloud. Another report over Carefree saw that funnel cloud, so we're going to keep our eyes on that tornado warning. But I do want to mention, even though we are tracking that warning, and if we return you back to programming in just about 7 minutes when that tornado warning expires, or if it extends, we'll keep with you. But it's possible to see more tornado warnings here over the next few hours. I mean, you can see that towering cumulus cloud on the right hand of your screen, seeing that inflow, some clear skies mixed in with one supercell. That is the perfect ingredient to start to see it develop further. So it could go through cycles, it could strengthen, it could weaken. We have meteorologist Reed Yaden really getting up close. I mean, you can see that lightning coming down on that thunderstorm, that tornado warned thunderstorm, where we have a team out there. And you know what? Notice how it's starting to take that hook shape. It's starting to show some signs of strengthening again. You can even see it right there on your screen. We have it for you. We're tracking it. We have meteorologist Reed Yaden and John Humphreys out there tracking that storm. And you know what? It looks like it's producing some significant hail as well when you get some of those deep pink colors on that map. So hail tracker, let's go ahead and pull up. Yeah, so it is producing potentially some hail with this system just over City isn't popping up. That's right on that county line between Harrison County and Crawford County. All right, so it's a rural area, so thankfully it is, but it's moving off to the east. Again, right now, if we potentially have a tornado, it looks like it's moving just north along I-64 crossing. All right, so there we go. They just trimmed back that tornado warning. All right, so we have an update starting to show signs of weakening, which is good, then strengthening. They did trim back that tornado warning. So Crawford, you are no longer in this tornado warning. You are in the clear. In fact, this tornado warning is going to expire here in just about 6 minutes. But still, it's a nasty cell. So let's go ahead and put another track on it. Even if it does expire, we're going to keep our eyes on it for you. Moving off to the east at 35 miles per hour. So Georgetown, you are almost in the direct path of this storm. So even though if it does expire, you have a nasty cell heading your way. So we're going to go ahead and do another track on this system, a little bit of an updated one. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the track of this cell. Tornado warning is in place until 9:15 p.m., so 6 more minutes. Then they're going to decide if we're going to extend it or not. It's continuing to show signs of weakening and then strengthening and then weakening back and forth. So these kind of supercells, it happens. They show signs of weakening and then they strengthen. Right now, Crawford County, you are no longer in that tornado warning. You are in the clear. Right now, the only county that is included in this tornado warning is northern Harrison County. So Corydon, you're just missing it to the south. All right, so they did extend it. Okay, so we have a new tornado warning in place. It does include a populated area. So if you're tuning in right now, this is a development, brand new right now, a new tornado warning. They're going to go ahead and extend it because it was showing some signs of weakening and strengthening with this supercell. So it looks like it does include. Yeah, so we have meteorologist Reed Yaden on this tornado-warned storm that was falling along I-64. Reed, tell me, where are you right now and what are you seeing?
We've taken the exit. We're in Harrison County here. We've taken the exit. There's some thunder just coming up in the background. Taking the exit to Palmyra and Corydon. So we're just ahead of the storm. It's going to move right over us. And as you look to the right, it's very, very dark. I agree with you. The storm has been cycling some. We've been watching it. We're getting some lightning here, some thunder, and just very little rain. Not a lot going on. Winds are about 15, 20 miles an hour right now. We've been checking around, and at this point, we have no information on any touchdown of this storm, as best we can tell, but that's certainly preliminary. Apparently there's been nothing on the ground at this particular point. Don't know if you can see that lightning flashing in the background here. We're just off of Interstate 64, about a tenth of a mile or so on a ramp that doesn't carry very heavy traffic, but the storm is moving just directly over us at the present time. As I say, we're getting just a little bit of very light rain here. Thunder starting to pick up, and so is the lightning in the storm. Now, if I were in the areas just ahead here, certainly Corydon, and as Colleen just said, the warning has been extended now into Harrison County. So if you are in Georgetown, Corydon, you need to be preparing to take shelter in a safe place, and by all means have the means of staying in touch, either with our app in the event the power goes off, or certainly through NOAA weather radio. But the cell is not as defined as it was, Colleen, but it's moving right directly over us, but it's a slow mover here. I'm estimating from what I'm seeing here, it's moving about maybe 20, 25 miles an hour at most, so it's not moving really fast. We are going to stay here for the moment. We'll stay with this cell as it moves. We'll keep you up to date. Colleen, for now, back to you there in Studio G.
Yeah, thank you, Reed. What an amazing view of that supercell that you're tracking out there. Please stay safe out there. I know you will. You're an expert at it. We're keeping our eyes on it on the road with our First Alert Storm Team weather beast. I'm tracking it in the studio. This tornado warning was extended, not including Jefferson County just yet. It does include Harrison County. It does include Floyd County. But you know what? If you live in any of these communities that are highlighted in the path of this cell, I want you to pay attention. Warning ahead of time, even before a warning is placed, is so crucial. It can mean a lot. Calling your friend, or maybe if you have a family member that's at a friend's house. I know it's a little bit late. Not many people are out on the road, maybe grocery stores, people getting off work at this time. I want you to go ahead and stay aware. Try to not be out on the road here over the next hour as the cell moves over a very populated area. So we're putting a track on this system. 2 counties are included in this tornado warning. The time is 9:14 p.m. This tornado warning is in place until 9:45. We have some time to go. We're going to track it for you, show signs of strengthening or weakening, but we have eyes on this storm. It is a tall, towering cumulus cell that could drop a tornado at any point. So we want to make sure that you are taking it seriously. Crandall here, I think you are that next community. You can see that potential rotation is heading right towards you. So 9:12, I think that's a little bit outdated, but I think just about 4 minutes you have until this rotation is over you. So I want you to go ahead and head into your basement right now as a potential tornado is heading right towards your neighborhood. This is something we need to take seriously. Do I think it's on the ground right now? I don't think so. I think it's potentially starting to drop, and it could drop at any moment in time. We're going to have to wait. We have eyes on it. If we happen to see any damage reports, of course, we'll let you know and elevate our wording just a little bit. So heading towards Floyd's Knob here, by the time we head towards 9:31 p.m., so 15 minutes, very populated. We're talking about Floyd County, and then we're also okay, we have 2 tornado warnings in place, this time for Clark County. So we are tracking multiple tornado warnings popping up across the metro. I want you to pay attention because we have now not 1, but 2 separate tornado warnings that we are watching for you. So this is a developing situation, 9:15 p.m. Louisville, I think you're in the path. You might just miss it just to the south. It is moving off to the northeast. We're going to have to watch it for you, but really I do want to focus on this new tornado warning. So Crandall, Floyd's Knob, areas in North Harrison County and Floyd County, all of central Floyd County, get into your basement right now. That is that first tornado. But let's go ahead and track this second tornado warning that I'm watching pop up just over Memphis and Sellersburg right now. So I want you to go ahead and find your safe place. I-65, I mean, we have a Trimark camera that could potentially show us some images over this area. So I-65, I want you to pull off. If you are in Sellersburg through Memphis, a potential tornado is over your area. Let's go ahead. Okay, yes, right here. This is concerning. We're talking about some strong wind gusts being clocked in right now over Starlight. So this is definitely a little bit more of a significant scenario right now. We are clocking in some strong wind gusts right now over this area. So I do want to see how strong of winds we're picking up right now. 60 miles per hour, and that's a little bit elevated. So it might be a little bit lower than that, 50 to 55 miles per hour. So right now, potential tornado is on the ground over Starlight. We do not have any indication that it is on the ground, but when we start to see that very light pink color, you can see it in our scale here of miles per hour, that's when we show some signs of development. Bennettsville, you are next in the path of this. In fact, you know what? Just developed a little bit. I'm getting a little bit more concerned. Bennettsville, head into your basement right now. We are seeing a developed situation. I-65 through Perry Crossing. If you have any family members, I want you to exit right now and find and seek shelter at a local gas station or anything. I am concerned with this. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put on a correlation coefficient. You know, it's a little bit unclear to see if it's producing damage right now, but this is a developing situation. In fact, we might have a tornado on the ground here if this is any indication. So a developing situation right now here. Do want to go ahead and read up on it real quick so I can put a track on it. All right, so Floyd County, this is moving east at 30 miles per hour, and it's in effect 9:25 p.m. Okay. You know what? We're going to put a track on this and track it out. So moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. If you live in these counties, I need you to seek shelter right now through Clark County, Perry Crossing, about to cross over into Charlestown here. Let's go ahead and time it out. So I-65, I am a little concerned that potentially is a tornado on the ground. We do not have confirmation on it just yet, but Perry Crossing, I need you to get into your basement. Charlestown, go ahead and head into your basement. This does look like a developing storm, and you know what? It just started to fire up 5 minutes ago, so I don't even think the supercell has reached its potential yet, so that is not good news. But I want you to be calm with it as well. Grab the kids and the pets, head into the basement. Not going to head towards Sellersburg. You're going to miss that potential tornado just off to the south along I-65. Borden, you are in the clear. Starlight, you are now in the clear. However, it looks like that tornado potentially developed over your neck of the woods. So developing situation right now, it is moving over a highway, Highway 60, and then over Highway 31 to I-65. So let's go ahead and I do want to keep my eyes on potential. Nope, we're not picking up any debris on that radar, so that is a good sign. So right now, let's go ahead and ground ourselves and look at what we're watching here. Okay, we have 2 tornado warnings in place right now. So if you live in and around Clark County, Harrison County, Floyd County, Jefferson County, also eventually Trimble County, I need you to pay attention because these 2 storms potentially could be producing a tornado right now. So it is hovering right around Louisville. This first tornado warning, it's moving off to the north and northeast. New Albany, you're in that path, and then potentially downtown Louisville. And then the second tornado, I think, is more the concern over I-65 right now. So I do want to check that other tornado warning that we are watching moving over Harrison County right now. All right, so broad rotation showing signs of weakening, so it looks like it's going to miss Corydon just to the north right now. So I think they're going to let that tornado warning expire. A potential broad rotation just west of Lanesville right now. Now, this other tornado warning is a little bit more concerning, which is the one I'm going to focus on. It's moving over Highway 60. Right now, we're about to get that latest scan. Now, I'm checking my feed to make sure we don't have any sighting of it. This is radar indicated. This is not confirmed. But when we see some winds greater than 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, regardless if it's on the ground, we are picking up some strong winds with this, okay. Tornado warned storm about to cross I-65. All right, so it's about to cross a major highway. I have my eyes on the chat to make sure that we don't have any updates. I'm getting an update from Indiana Clark County Emergency Management. Gavin, he's typing in the chat. I am keeping my eyes on that because if it is confirmed, I do want to let you know, most importantly. So right now, potentially, that tornado is right over Bennettsville, heading towards Perry Crossing. I can't say this enough. Get into your basement as we speak. We are getting some strong winds. I mean, it could be even getting up to 80 miles per hour now on that scale. Remember, it's a little bit elevated, so it's always a little bit lower than what that radar is picking up. So Bennettsville, rotation right over you, potentially seeing either a funnel cloud, some strong wind gusts, regardless if it's on the ground or not. Again, no confirmation just yet, but it is heading towards I-65, a very populated area. This is over Clark County right now. Perry Crossing, you still have some time, about 2 minutes to head into that basement. A tornado warned storm is right on your front door. Also going to parallel along Highway 31 as well. Okay, so you just see that that new update. They did update that tornado warning right now. And it still only includes Clark County, but again, really narrowed in on this storm. Okay, let me go ahead and get that latest information of that storm for you. Okay, so they are continuing this. Now it's in effect until 9:45 p.m. For central Clark County. So this is one county that is under this tornado warning that is potentially producing a tornado. I mean, it almost looks detached, that rotation from that from the rain, and that's because it's really trying hard to create that classic supercell shape right now. So it is heading off to the east and northeast. I do want to put a track on it right now because it is going to head over some populated areas, 30 miles per hour here shortly. All right, so Charlestown Senior High School, if that is familiar for you, if you live in this community east of I-65, you are potentially in the path of this potential tornado. Again, I do want to reiterate, we do not have confirmation of it being on the ground. This is radar indicated, but it is a developing situation. It is producing some strong winds about to cross I-65. You know, when it starts to create that hook shape, the rotation is right there and the rain is on the east side. So it's not the perfect supercell that you read about in textbooks, but it's trying its hardest to develop further. So I'm going to continue to watch it. Hopefully it starts to weaken, but I want you to go ahead and find your safe place. And then eventually it will be heading towards Bedford by 10 o'clock. So you have about 30 minutes with this supercell that we're watching, heading just north of Louisville, right through central Clark County. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that system, but I do want to track this second tornado warning, or the first one. We were watching it earlier. So right now the time is 9:25 p.m. Getting that wider view of our radar, we are tracking 2 tornado warnings here popping up in southern Indiana. This does include populated areas. So if you live in Louisville, yes, there is a tornado warning off to the west. It's moving through just north of Corydon. So if you live in Corydon, if you live south of Corydon, you are not in the path of this tornado. You are just to the south. You are in the clear. Also, Valley Station, you're in the clear. If you live even south of the airport or south of Churchill, you are in the clear. I think this is going to stay off to the east and northeast, could ride right along the Ohio River just through downtown as that cell moves closer. We're going to keep our eyes on it. And you know what? Actually, I do want to update on that live camera that we have. You know, it is pretty dark. Sometimes we're able to see some lightning starting to fire up, but right now we can't really see too much with it being dark out. So we're going to keep our eyes on that cell. Let's go ahead and put a track on it for you and see the estimated timing. So, I mean, it is heading towards some populated areas. Before I put a track though, I do want to update to see what kind of rotation we are seeing. Okay, so it looks like it's broad rotation, but it still is clocking in some stronger wind gusts right now, clocking in potentially up to 60, 70 miles per hour just south of Crandall, just along I-64. So this potential rotation is moving towards Georgetown here shortly in just about 15 to 20 minutes. Lanesville, you are just on the edge of that polygon. I'm going to try to call out as many cities as possible so you are updated. But even though you're on the south side of that polygon, you see the strongest wind gusts are actually right there, and that's moving off to the east and northeast. So it's going to clip just to the north of you. I think the strongest winds are going to stay south of New Salisbury and heading right towards Georgetown, eventually Edwardsville, and then eventually Floyd's Knob. Very populated areas. Plenty of people commute from downtown to Floyd's Knob, so a lot of people are starting to pay attention, hopefully, to this potential tornado that's heading off to the east. Right now, it's broad rotation. You can see there's not really a clear couplet. In fact, it's almost like straight line winds that we're seeing. So not as concerned with a tornado on the ground with this one, but it doesn't matter if it's a tornado or on the ground or 70 miles per hour, it could still create damage. So we are going to continue to track that storm. I'm curious to see if that's going to continue to strengthen or weaken, but just know it is heading towards Georgetown, eventually Floyd's Knob, and then eventually towards Louisville. I do want to get to, okay, all right, we have a tornado on the ground. It is a tornado emergency right over Memphis and Charlestown. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. We need to find our shelter. When we have a confirmation, we have a sighting on it over Perry Crossing right now, just along I-65. A tornado is on the ground moving just northeast of Charlestown. So Memphis, Perry Crossing, Charlestown, Rolling Hills, I need you to find shelter right now. This is a tornado emergency. We just got word that a tornado is on the ground. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to see where we're clocking in this damage. Right here over Perry Crossing. So not picking up too much damage, but it looks like we got a report that, okay, multiple 911 calls for a tornado on the ground in the Perry Crossing area. That was 9:25, so just about a few minutes ago. We have light debris across I-65 just north of Perry Crossing Drive in Perry Crossing, Indiana. So this is an emergency. We have a tornado on the ground. It looks like it's crossing I-65. I'm actually going to head over here real quick because I do want to check some of our Trimark cameras to see if we can clock in because it looks like we might be able to see any cameras in this area right over New Sellersburg. Again, yes.
This is Doug Prime here in the studio joining Colleen. Colleen, while you're doing that, we want to remind people that this is 20 minutes north of downtown Louisville. Again, Colleen is reporting a confirmed tornado on the ground, Perry Crossing, Indiana, in the Charlestown area. Again, about 20 minutes north of downtown Louisville. We've been on the air with you for...
oh, Doug? Oh,
yes,
my gosh.
go ahead.
Okay, you know what? This is a still image over Perry Crossing near Reaver Road right now. We do not have a live feed of this camera, but it does look like some sort of funnel cloud. Potentially, this is that live view over Weaver Road right now at I-64. I'm keeping my eyes on it for you. Let's go ahead and try to get back to this. Right now, Perry Crossing as well. This is where that confirmed tornado is on the ground. Don't have a clear view of it, but I'm going to go ahead and leave up that camera just in case. Again, we have still images. It's a live feed, but it still gives us an idea of potentially where this tornado is on the ground. So right now the time is 9:30 p.m. if you're tuning in and you live in Perry Crossing in Charlestown. This is a tornado emergency. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground. It is moving off to the east. So we're going to go ahead and put a track on it. But first, I do want to point out where that potential tornado is. It looks like it did show some signs of weakening, so that's good. We did get a confirmation that it was on the ground through Perry Crossing. Right now, it could potentially be weakening a little bit. Maybe it's not on the ground as of now, but 5 minutes ago it was through Perry Crossing because, you know what, I can't really clearly define a couplet of some rotation with it. So it might be starting to disorganize a little bit. Sometimes that happens when a tornado hits and touches ground and it's a weaker one. It probably produced some damage. We did get reports of some debris along. All right, so we have meteorologist Reed Yanin heading towards that area to get any updates on potential damage reports. But it looks like we are continuing to follow this.
Is your radar showing you any debris field, Colleen?
I have
What are you able to confirm from your view here? The 911 callers are very good confirmation, as you reported. They've been calling in eyewitnesses from that area in between Perry Crossing and Charlestown, Indiana, just to the north of Louisville.
Yeah, so it looks like if we, right around 9:13 p.m., you can see that potential, you see that blue popping up. Let me go ahead and highlight it for you because it is a little confusing. That could be some indication of some debris around 9:15 p.m. as it was crossing I-65 through Perry Crossing. So yes, we did actually get some indication of some debris being picked up on that radar. This is a live view of that radar right now. And you know what, Doug? The good news is we're not seeing any more debris being picked up on that radar. So not seeing any current signs that is still on the ground. But again, you know, it could drop at any moment when we get a supercell like this.
So what communities are in the line of threat next, and where does Louisville stand in all this at the moment?
Yeah, very good question. Louisville stands just off to the south, so where this tornado emergency is in place, it is not heading towards Louisville. It is heading just through central Clark County. So let's go ahead and put a track on this cell. It is moving off to the east-northeast, and these are the communities that are in the path of this potential tornado that could still be on the ground. Again, it was confirmed through Perry Crossing. It could still be on the ground. It could be going through some recycling period. So we're just going to have to keep watching that radar for you and keep our eyes on it. So right now, over Charlestown by 9:33. So if we're seeing any rotation, it is over the Charlestown community. Charlestown High School is what I was showing you just about 10 minutes ago. And then it's heading towards Rolling Hills by 9:41 p.m. and then it's off to New Washington. But by that point, we're going to have a better picture of what it's looking like. Did it strengthen? Did it weaken? Are they going to extend this potential tornado warning or not?
So at this point, how much longer for this tornado warning?
Yes, so it looks like I just got an update for it. Okay, so that was a different tornado warning. I do want to update you that tornado warning that was heading towards Floyd's Knobs was canceled. There is no longer a tornado warning in place for Georgetown, Floyd's Knob, a very populated area heading towards Sellersburg. So that's good. We are only tracking, and in fact, the other one just canceled as well. So Doug, great news. No longer tracking any tornado warning out there. They just canceled both of them. It was on the ground for a brief period. I mean, that's probably signs that it was a weaker tornado. The brief touchdown with the reports of some debris along I-65. But Charlestown, you are no longer under that tornado warning. It started to weaken, and I mean, looking at that radar, it's very weak. Yes.
So before this turned into a tornado, we have now been able to confirm some other reports from police to the west of before this tornado started in Crawford County, Indiana. The sheriff confirming to WHAS 11 News that they have no injuries, but they did have a carport overturned and tree limbs down. Of course, that's before the first tornado warning came out for this area that's in the Metro Louisville area. If you're just joining us here on WHAS 11, this is Doug Proffitt along with meteorologist Colleen Peterson. We've been on the air for over an hour now tracking these evening tornado warnings, and we can't say it enough, Colleen, severe weather at night is what we worry about the most because you lose the horizon, you are in the darkness along with the clouds, the rain and the high winds, and now we're really beholden on this radar system that you're still tracking as this system is now weakening.
Yeah, thank goodness. We were tracking two cells for a moment there. We had a tornado on the ground as it was crossing just north of Sellersburg. So it is now canceled. There are no current tornado warnings in place. It was pretty nasty. It started to weaken. I'm going to keep my eyes on both of these systems if we happen to see any more updates. But as of right now, there is no current threat of a tornado in our area. I do want to mention that we did have a confirmation of that tornado. So we have a crew on the way that's going to observe the area, see what kind of damage, because we were getting multiple reports of some debris along I-65 just north of Sellersburg there. So this is the current view of the radar, not seeing any current rotation out there, seeing some heavy downpours over Floyd's Knob through Sellersburg. But right now, this is all we're seeing. So thankfully, Doug, that it did weaken.
Now, that's a very specific report. That you have light debris on I-65, which is near Perry Crossing.
Yes.
Perry Crossing nearly directly north of Louisville. It would be in between Charlestown and where Perry Crossing is located there. So that's a real specific eyewitness report there, Colleen, which would indicate, obviously, that that tornado had touched down whether briefly or however long, and has hit something and then blown that debris on there. They're probably getting reports actually from drivers on the interstate.
Yeah, and I actually zoomed in on the area where we got the reports as it was crossing I-65. So that was actually near Timberfield Court, if that is familiar with anybody. probably a street that's not popping up on our area. But Perry Crossing, you did have a touchdown tornado. We're going to have more information. The National Weather Service is going to conduct their surveys tomorrow. We also have a crew heading out there to see if any other reports, hopefully no reports of any injuries just yet. But again, thankfully, it's no longer, I mean, it looks like this right now, which is a blob of rain, so it really significantly weakened. Just to stay on the safe side, it is still producing some stronger wind gusts, but thankfully, right now, there is no indication. Could actually, you know what, after looking at some rotation, could be still producing a funnel cloud with it, even though it's not producing a lot of rain. It still potentially could strengthen here as it moves off to the east. We are under a tornado watch until 3 o'clock in the morning, and we have meteorologist Reed Yaden out with John Humphreys, who was following this, the two different cells. You were over all the way on I-64 through Harrison County on that first tornado warning. Now you're rerouting. Tell me, where are you heading right now?
Okay, we're heading, we're going to take 150 down and we're going to work our way across 265, swing south on 65, and that should have put us in good shape to come up on Perry Crossing there and check that out. We got the same information you had, numerous 911 calls. Apparently there was a tornado touchdown near Perry Crossing, near Interstate 65, and there is light debris on the roadway. That's the exact term that was used in the report that both Colleen saw and we saw. Now, let's bring you up to date on the cell that we left. The first warning, no warnings, no tornado warnings in effect right now. Colleen's monitoring everything very close. We're on Highway 150 coming down the hill here, and with the bridge closed, we'll cut across 265 here. The rain here is pretty much ending right now. We came across Harrison, went into a portion of Crawford County. We do understand there are a few tree limbs down in Crawford County, maybe a carport uprighted. That was it. We saw no debris whatsoever and really didn't encounter any wind. We encountered some briefly heavy rain out of it. That was it. About the time Colleen said this storm is really collapsing, it was indeed. It died out. It did not recycle itself. Still bears watching, but the threat from that storm, threat from both cells for the moment, is over. Thankfully, we'll work our way over to Perry Crossing, and we'll be there and get you an update on that. So that's where we stand now. Colleen, back to you. We'll be here throughout the evening, right through the news at 11 o'clock and later if necessary, and then we'll do it all again tomorrow.
Awesome, thank you. Yes.
While we're at it here, let's give everybody an update on where things stand for the rest of the night. We're still watching that system right in the middle of our screen, which looks serious to me, and I think you should break that down. Where is this moving? It seems like it's parked right so near New Albany.
Yeah, right now we are tracking some rain and potentially some broad rotations starting, but right now no indication of any tornado warning. There is not a severe thunderstorm warning, but any of these cells could have that potential to spin up in a blink of an eye. So you know what, we have a tornado watch in effect until 3 o'clock in the morning. So even though we canceled the warnings, we want you to stay on top of the weather overnight tonight. I know it's 9:41. Many people are probably going to bed here soon, but right now over Floyd's Knob, we are seeing some heavy downpours, potentially some strong wind gusts. Reed was traveling right along I-65 there, and now he's rerouting north on 65. He said he didn't really pick up as much wind, but I think you have to be right under that cell to get the strongest of wind gusts. So right now over Floyd's Knob, we are seeing the heaviest of downpours. I do want to check to make sure, see what kind of winds we're seeing. Not too much. We're not really picking up too much of winds with this system. So this does not look like a severe storm as of now, but of course, let's go ahead and put on that hail just to make sure. And it's, you know what, it's not producing hail. So it looks like just some rain is parked over Floyd County, moving off to the east. And this other storm that was producing a tornado, you know what, let's go ahead and walk through it. This started at 9 o'clock. It dropped right about there, right as it was crossing Perry Crossing. So this is not right now. This is when it started to drop. this is when we started getting reports as it was crossing I-65 right along Memphis-Charlestown Road. So this was briefly on the ground, maybe for 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to have to wait to get to that report. And then it started to lift and weaken. So it was briefly on the ground, unfortunately, right over a major highway. So hopefully there are no holdups on the road there or anybody had any issues. But right now, let's go ahead and zoom into where it is right now. This is live on that radar. You can see that storm is situated right over rolling hills. Switching over to velocity, storm relative velocity. We're starting to get a little bit farther away from that radar site. So not seeing any rotation really with it as well. So it's starting to weaken. Currently, there is no threat of a tornado in our area, but taking the wider view, we cannot let our guards down overnight tonight. We already have one confirmed tornado. Thankfully, it appeared to be on that weaker side as we were tracking it. A big batch of some tornadoes and severe thunderstorms heading right towards Cincinnati right now, and we're watching some other storms developing off to the west. So as we head towards 3 o'clock in the morning, where this tornado watch is in place, we're going to keep our eyes on that for you. So this is a developing situation overnight tonight. Thankfully, there is no current tornado warning in place, but this tornado watch remains in place until 3 o'clock. So that means that the ingredients are there. It could strengthen again, but as of now, Doug, there is no current threat of a tornado warning. Doug?
Colleen, let's go through it real quick. Just while you've been on the air, just got a text message from meteorologist Christina San Juan in southern Indiana. She's reporting no hail in Floyd's Knobs, but very heavy rain and wind. Again, it seems to be the focus of tonight's tornado touchdown does appear to be in Perry Crossing, where several 911 callers called in. They've got debris on I-65. Our Reed Yaden is heading there. We'll keep an eye on what Reed finds, and we'll bring that to you coming up along a little later. So before we go back to programming, Colleen, which we're going to do here in just a second,
yes,
let's take it between now and 11 o'clock. Are we pretty much in the clear between now and 11 o'clock as far as any severe weather in the metro?
So we're not in the clear. Right now there is no current warning, but there is a tornado watch in place until 3 o'clock. So what this means, yes, you can still go to sleep, but I want you to have that radio on, your phone on, maybe have the pets in the basement because the tornado can spin up at any moment. Not going to be a widespread outbreak. We're going to have maybe 1 or 2 pop-up thunderstorms here until 3 o'clock in the morning. Past 3 o'clock, that threat will start to come to an end. So when a tornado warning is placed, and if it happens to take place, you want to go ahead and head into the interior portion, the bathroom, the hall, and of course the basement is definitely the ideal place. So tornado warning safety, find sturdy shelter here over the next few hours, potentially if a tornado warning happens to fire up. And of course, when severe weather happens at night, we're going to break into programming to keep you updated, but you need ways to wake up, have your cell phone charge, weather radio close by, designated safe place. Right now, there is no current tornado warning in place. So for that, we're going to send you back to programming. And if anything happens to pop up, we'll keep you updated.